homegrown solutions, not fit for all prescriptions handed down from abroad, and keeping African economies afloat through proactive and effective combination of conventional and innovative monetary policies. The world is a dynamic place, and with innovation, we can survive.
In Nigeria, the president said the federal government is determined to diversify the economy away from oil through strict implementation of policies that will ensure self-sufficiency, massive employment generation, exploration of the untapped human and natural resources, as well as continuing with greater determination the fight against corruption.
Side by side with economic stimulus measures, we must intensify our surveillance and give guidance to the operations of our financial institution to reverse the trend of illicit flows of funds out of Africa. We should all be serious at ensuring that the proceeds of these illicit flows are repatriated to their countries of origin with minimal bureaucratic hitches.
In their various submissions, the representatives of the IMF Managing Director, the African Union Commission Chairperson, Chairman of the African Association of Central Bank Governors, and the Governor of Nigeria's Apex Bank agreed that African economies are facing daunting challenges, hence the need for tough decisions and courageous tasks in the implementation of monetary and budgetary policies, as well as other viable reform measures.
It is therefore necessary that today's symposium will contribute to bring the strategy to be adopted and adequate instrument to be used while preserving stability in our economies.
The first line of defense of these countries is to ensure good fundamentals are in place to increase resilience and provide more policy room during unwinding.
It is my sincere hope that the outcome of this symposium will set the stage for the emergence of virile and strong national economies all across this continent that we love.
Financial and economic experts from within and outside Africa attended the symposium. From the Central Bank of Nigeria, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And from economy, we move to security matters, where the Nigerian Armed Forces have reassured Nigerians that they are putting in all they have to confront security concerns across the country. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Toko Buratai, and his counterpart from the Air Force, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, said they are critically evaluating operational modalities and partnering with other relevant stakeholders. Salih Abdullahi monitored their contribution on NTA's Current Affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria.
The program provided a platform for the two service chiefs to give an account of the activities of the Nigerian Army and the Air Force since they took the mantle of leadership. They attributed some of the successes recorded so far to the dedication and political will of the present administration and expressed confidence that with the renewed synergy among key actors, the nation's territorial integrity will continue to remain intact.
The defense industry of Nigeria is still crawling, it's still in the infancy stage. But thank God, Mr. President has made major pronouncement last year, has given the directive to revamp the Nigerian military-industrial complex.
We've been able to address some of the challenges, the most fundamental challenges, in terms of serviceability of aircraft, and that is why today we cannot only talk about supporting the operation in the Northeast. Because of the fact that we are getting more airplanes serviceable, we had to launch an air patrol that is taking care of some of the criminal activities that are taking place along the Abuja-Kaduna road.
The Army chiefs were unanimous that training and retraining of personnel, interagency collaboration, increasing civil-military relations, intelligence gathering, as well as enhancing staff welfare were crucial to achieving a secure Nigeria. They warned cattle rustlers, kidnappers, pipeline vendors, terrorists, and other criminals to change their ways or be ready to face the law, stressing that the armed forces will never fold its arms and watch Nigeria's peace and security jeopardized. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
A notorious kidnap for ransom gang that has been linked to kidnapping and violent crimes along Kaduna, Abuja and its environs has been arrested after a coordinated investigation by the Intelligence Response Team of the Inspector General of Police Monitoring Team. The three main suspects identified as Haruna Adamu, 25 years old gang leader, Shuaibu Adamu, 18 years old, and Abubakar Saidu, 30 years, were rounded off at Guankawu village in Dandomi local government area of Katsina State. The force public relations officer, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Don Awuna, who briefed journalists in Abuja on the arrest, said the gang was responsible for the kidnap of a current member in the House of Representatives, Sani Bello, on the 2nd of this month in his farm along Kaduna-Abuja Road, as well as the kidnap of other persons traced to them.
Ibrahim Idris used to reassure Nigerians that the police will not relent in its commitment and determination to ensure that criminals and their collaborators have their day in court to face the wrath of the law.
The Deputy Commissioner of Police added that during interrogation, the suspect voluntarily confessed to the commission of the offense, as the sum of 250,000 naira being part of the ransom money and a handset were recovered and marked as exhibit. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program have also identified conflicting court judgments to both the Ahmed Makarfi-led PDP caretaker committee and also that of Ali Modu Sharif as responsible for the prolonged crisis within the party. Constitutional lawyer Mr. Festus Oguche and a public affairs analyst Jide Ojo called on the National Judicial Council to step in and ensure that the integrity of the judiciary is not eroded, while political parties should enhance cooperation and internal democracy.
In the judicial system in Nigeria is at its very lowest ebb. I'm very sorry to put it that way, but that is the fact. And it is simply because the political elites are just very desperate to get it their way. And when they do that, they go consult lawyers who are also very desperate to get their funds. They file all manner of things that they know at the end of the day will raise a lot of dust.
Is to create an enabling environment that will engender effective and efficient management and development of the oil and gas industry.
The team is working on 3 to 4 very major plans. 1, the gas policy. 2, the petroleum policy. 3, a petroleum roadmap, which we're going to be bringing out in the next one week. And 4, obviously working on various tranches of PIB to enable us to move forward. We hope that between now and October, a lot of those documents will be ready, will be launched, will be put into space.
The whole idea is to ensure development of the Nigerian gas market, expand prosperity.
Following the launch, they will be deployed optimally by various relevant NN units. Their induction would certainly enhance the Navy's capability to carrying out her statutory roles and also assist immensely for the Nigerian Navy to keep the criminals at the back foot.
The Minister of Defense, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary in the ministry, said the building of the boat by Navy personnel is in line with the federal government's strategic vision to encourage local technology capacity of indigenous engineers.
Nigerian Navy has done particularly well that they have engaged local contractors and have also involved local content.
We have a policy, we have a guideline that has been endorsed, that is acceptable, that is a working instrument for inclusive education in Lagos State.
There should be no segregation whatsoever, whether through religion, gender, any form of discrimination.
Some of the stakeholders enjoined parents to support the program, as this will ensure that their children have access to basic and quality education.
1,007 schools in Lagos will be all inclusive, so that any school you go to, you can see the blind, you can see the deaf, you can see even the girl child that is
site and re-engaged some of their workers.
Last week, we received payment for 750 million. We called immediately 51 workers.
The Ilorin-Jeba-Mokwa road, which motorists say have degenerated into death trap, is also receiving attention. This is Kaumbi along the Ilorin-Jeba-Mokwa road. This section of the road was characterized by several severe failed portions before the remobilization of the contractor handling this project.
Before, the road is very, very bad. Even we take a lot of time before we reach Ilorin from Jeba. But now it has become good now.
We appreciate. May they still continue to do the remaining road.
Other projects inspected include the Oyo-Ogbomosho, Ibadan-Shagamu, Ilorin-Ibadan, and the Loko Uweto Bridge project.
Even everybody felt bad by that time. Because to be jobless since December 16, 2013, it's very, very bad.
We have been at home, no food, but since we have been called back now, things are becoming better again for us. I'm very happy.
Apart from the re-engagement of over 2,500 workers, with more expected after the rainy season, these projects have reinvigorated commercial activities along these routes. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Adamawa state government says it has mapped out plans to move those living along flood-prone areas to safer sites in anticipation of flood, which is expected soon. Tafaya Hamza Mayu reports.
Adamawa State is among some states in the country where flood is anticipated this rainy season. In the past, the state has suffered from flooding where lives and property were lost. 8 local government areas in the state are always vulnerable, with measures taken by previous administration to reduce the effect of the flooding to the barest minimum. To those living at the flood-prone areas, flooding have become part of their lives, even though efforts to move them to safer places in the past were not successful, because the people say they can't abandon their ancestral homes. In anticipation of flood this year, the Adamawa state government says traditional rulers, security agencies, and other stakeholders were contacted on how to move those living in flood-prone areas to safer sites.
We have called the attention of all the traditional rulers to ensure that they identify areas where people can stay safely. If at all this flood happens, we have called the attention of all the security men in case people want assistance here and there to be on alert. But certainly at the moment there is no dedicated area where it is cordoned and fenced and houses built for people to just move in if there's flood. But
the government also confirmed that a lasting solution to the problem is in the pipeline, where experts were consulted on the way forward.
In addition to His Excellency working so hard, going to Abuja, working with the international community to ensure that some kind of dredging and clearing of all the blockages happen in the rivers.
In Yola, Tafawa, Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
In another development, the federal government is also set to establish 7 farm sites for graduate farmers and also commercial farming scheme in the Federal Capital Territory, Niger and Kaduna states. This was disclosed during an assessment tour of status of irrigational facilities in the Upper Niger River Basin Authority by an inter-ministerial committee set up by government to assess the status of irrigation facilities across all the Federal River Basin authorities in Nigeria for agriculture. Daniel Menson has the details.
The committee, which undertook an assessment tour of the Upper Niger River Basin Authority, said that farm sites will be located in all the 7 senatorial zones of Kaduna, Niger and FCT, and is part of the present administration to reposition agriculture for economic and national development.
I want to assure even our farmers that the River Basin, being the custodians of these infrastructures, we are equally ready to provide all these services.
The committee met with local farmers and other stakeholders and discussed on ways on how to improve agriculture in their localities.
Right now, my present river basin, which is Upper Niger River Basin, we intend to go into rice production, fishery, and
effort to encourage wealth creation and self-employment in various trades. 500 trainees have been selected from the National Industrial Skills Development Program in Cross River State. It was flagged off in Calabar by the Industrial Development Fund with senatorial centers for their training. Archibong Basi has more. We continue. We hope to bring you that report in the course of the bulletin or subsequent ones. But let's tell you.
Dennis Adigloye, NTA News.
And we told you earlier on that in an effort to encourage wealth creation and self-employment in various trades, 500 trainees have been selected from the National Industrial Skills Development Program in Cross River. It was flagged off in Calabar by the Industrial Development Fund with senatorial centers for their training. Archibong Basi is now ready with our report. Over to you.
Acquiring skills for
who has companies cannot employ people to work. People can be empowered and develop skillfully to be independent and do what they can do to survive.
The first phase of the program commenced in December 2012 and has continued in subsequent phases in all states of the Federation, producing thousands of skilled artisans in various trade areas. In Calabar, Archibong Basi, NTA News.
Also in Abuja, a total of 45 persons, including 2
will further undergo an advanced training on repairs and maintenance of tricycle in Umuahia. Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
And before we take a break, let's get back to Kaduna Network Center. Sani is now fully ready to take us through. Sani, take it away down.
The Northern Governors' Wives Forum has launched an adolescent girl-child program for the region, with a call on the Northern Governors to promote girl-child education and provide an enabling environment for such a move to thrive. Gloria Tekenwodu reports.
When they grow to adulthood, unhealthy or ignorant or both.
Representative of UNFPA in Nigeria, Marvin Ratizai, and other stakeholders speak on some practices affecting the girl child that needs addressing.
Expressing the importance of girl-child education, denouncing child marriage, it's incredible. A few years ago, people would not even say the word child marriage.
Similar program will be extended to Kebbi, Bauchi, and Taraba states. In Kaduna, Gloria Tukianwadu, NTA News.
The federal government's war against corruption and impunity is gaining more supporters across the federation. A coalition of civil society,
some individuals or selected groups. Rather, it is a fight against evil which has been destroying the society. The coalition therefore urges Nigerians, irrespective of tribal or religious inclination, to assist in mobilizing members of the public to support President Buhari to restore the nation's lost glory. In Katsina, Amini Shak Abbas, NTA News.
Inculcating selfless community service among the Nigerian youth is one of the aims of the National Youth Service Corps Scheme, NYSC. In Kaduna State, this is being achieved by many corps members who initiate various community development projects that touch the lives of the people. Muhammad Umar Ajingi visits a youth skill acquisition center being organized as a community development project by a youth corps.
You really try. Of course, to be a corps member is mandatory by law, but being a corps member that will make a difference is a matter of choice. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Stakeholders in reproductive and family health have identified attitudinal change and increased awareness about child spacing as one of the best ways of reducing maternal mortality and child deaths in Nigeria. This is the son of stakeholders at a parley with media executives in Kaduna. Sulema Abdullahi Gachukun tells us more.
Effective reproductive and family health so that the cost and other implications associated with unwanted pregnancies are averted. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
That's all from Kaduna. Back to Abuja.
Thank you, Sani. You can watch this news live via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And if you are just joining us, this is NTA Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We have more reports.
This is a sheer exhibition of your primitive atavistic tendency.
Oh, any student who does not donate to my ministry will not be blessed by the ministry.
A phenomenon that defies the norm. A comedy and social satire that touches all, bears all, and shakes you up like never before.
Yeah, like after now you go say na me they talk all is about the thing where they have for this world.
Glow presents Professor John Bull, the biggest thing on your TV this season. Starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanzo, Funky Malam, Ime Bishop, Bimbo Akintola, Oguz Baba, Bidemi Kosoko, Junior Pope MC for God, Stephen Odingwe, and a host of other mega stars.
Within every 12, there is a Yura. Intellectual.
Professor John Bull, every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA International, NTA Network, and Star Time.
Over and out.
The largest data network, Glow Unlimited.
Change does not just happen. You and I, and all of us, must appreciate that we all have our part to play. If we
www.digitalps.org or call the numbers on your screen. The digital revolution has already begun. Do not allow your kids to be left out.
We intend to radically change Newman Street. My company has a record of converting slums into new cities. Many years of experience.
The visit by the new AIG is to formally inform the governors that he is now in charge of the zone, comprising Edo, Delta, and Bayelsa states with headquarters in Benin. AIG Shodipo says he will do his best to sustain peace in the zone.
On our side, we are very ready. We promise to provide a level playing ground for all parties, for everyone, a conducive environment for everybody to exercise their rights.
Governor Shomole is optimistic that collaboration between service commanders in the state will continue to sustain progress made. The governor says he remains committed to the principle of one man, one vote.
I want to assure you, all we need is a level playing field. But I think your approach here must also be quite strategic, because having worked in Bayelsa and now covering Delta and Akwa Ibom and Rivers, you know the terrain and you know the characters of the people.
AIG Shodipo joined the Nigerian police force in 1985 in the then Bendel state. In Benin, Agatha Egwari Uju, NTA News. The Archbishop of the Church of God Mission International, Margaret Idahosa, has led women in the state to pray for a peaceful election, just as she also reverberated the importance of equipping women to play their roles for the success of the change mantra of President Buhari's administration.
APC governorship candidate said his agenda on women and youth empowerment, agricultural revolution, tourism, job creation, road and water projects will take the state to the next level of development.
To make sure say our youth sabi work, we go do what we call youth empowerment. Not everybody go school, we know. For those people who not go school, we go train on for hand work. For those when they go, we go put una for centers, make una learn the work first, and then we go hand over una to the companies. That way, by the grace of God, work go come, money go down in our pockets, and una go happy.
Various speakers at the campaign grounds encouraged the people to use their PVCs, which they said is their power to vote APC for continuity of good governance in the state.
So we dey tell una, APC is the party you can trust. We know they promise wetin we no go fit do.
Earlier, the God University campaign train was at the palace of the Olososo of Ososo, His Royal Highness Anselm Obaiton, to seek royal blessing and support. So far, the APC governorship candidate has visited over 12 communities in Esako East, Esako Central, and Akoko Edo local government areas in his campaign tour of Edo North. From Akoko Edo local government area, Udwakobong Achibong, NTA News.
Industrializing and making Edo State a hub for agriculture is the message the People's Democratic Party PDP governorship candidate Pastor Sage Izeyamu took to the people of Okada in Ovia Northeast local government area when his campaign train arrived there. Selosande reports that the candidate says if elected, he will not be insensitive to the needs of the people.
It was a carnival of sorts with the minority of the House of Representatives, Mr. Leo Ogo, leading other members of the National Assembly to garner support for one of their own, the PDP governorship candidate, Pastor Osaige Ize Iyamu. The national lawmakers believe in the candidature.
Shadaliop, who covered the opening sitting in Jos High Court, has the details.
Appearing before the panel, the Human Rights Commission as plaintiff and a non-governmental organization, Stephanos Foundation, as co-complainant, while the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria is the first respondent. Other respondents are the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Army Staff, and the top hierarchy of the Nigerian Army, as well as the sector commander, was a local government area, and the State Commissioner of Police. Chairman of the panel, Emily Hubbard, said the panel is interested in facts-finding and that any investigation by the police as respondent is crucial to the matter, as evidence brought forward will assist the panel decision.
We are taking you as interested parties because you are already in the proceedings. So please, everybody should disabuse his or her mind that, anticipating the outcome of this panel or preempting the panel. Let us have the facts as it is.
Counsel to the petitioner, Nandang Dashe, presented a document to the panel as proof of service on the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation as directed at Monday's hearing. Counsel to the 2nd to 8th respondents, Nankwat Kwapwat, said, though the Commander-in-Chief has been served, other processes are yet to be served on him, and that by principle of fair hearing, he has the right of...
That is all on Global Tidbits. Talat Ezerike, NTA News.
Abdurrahman Ibn Mohammed is also on top of the situation in Rio Olympic Games. Over to